I had something I was going to open this week's show with. I've completely forgotten.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
It's written in my phone, but my phone's in the other room because it's on charge now.
Well, that's
Crap.
not good. That's
So,
not good.
yeah.
Good start.
Yeah.
You don't sync your notes across from your phone to somewhere else?
No, I probably should start doing that. But I just use a note-taking app on the phone.
Yeah.
So I don't really...
My notes sync across on Apple Notes.
I'm sure there's a Google equivalent.
This isn't interesting.
Where do you keep your notes, Dan?
Write them down with a pen.
A pen?
No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true.
I try. You know, there are fucking websites devoted to pen and paper and like bullet journals and all that kind of stuff. I get caught up in it every now and then because I'm like, I always feel like I could be more productive, and so I look up all this horse shit and I buy like field notes notepads. I'm like, I keep it in my pocket, and I've got a fountain pen that I bought because I was like, oh, that'll be fun.
You wrote like one thing in it and then forgot to bring it with you ever again?
Throw it in my bag and just use my phone.
I bought a fountain pen and then forgot to buy ink. Well, not forgot to buy ink, but just assumed I could go and get some ink. And then I went into the fucking stationery shop. I'm like, yeah, some ink for a fountain pen. They're like, what size? What gauge? Whatever. And I'm like,
it's just a fountain pen?
Yeah.
What century?
Yeah, that's right. Just something to dip my quill in.
You've come to the wrong shop, sir.
Yeah. And that's how Dan got charged with sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Please put that away.
The first time.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you.
My fountain pen has since dried up, and I'm not quite sure how to fix it, so it's just in my bag.
Happens with age. I do have a Traveler's Notebook. It's called the Traveler's Notebook. That's the brand, Traveler's Notebook.
Oh, I was going to say.
I'm not trying to claim here that, like,
a traveler's
you know,
I've got
quite a traveler
office notebook.
But to be fair, I do only have it in my going away bag, so it does only get used when I travel, but it does get used from time to time. I
don't know if you guys have noticed ever, but there used to be quite a lot of background noise in this room that I'm in, my office here.
Screaming and somebody pleading to get let out.
There's a here in the US, I guess, radon in the dirt is a problem. I think we may have talked about this before. Like the ground releases radon gas because it's
and that's bad for you, isn't it?
And you can hear it.
No, so it's common here. I assume I don't know if it's everywhere in the US or it's just New England, but everybody I know knows about this and has these. You have a radon extraction unit on your house, and there's like a PVC tube that goes down into the foundation and sticks up into the air outside of the house, and there's a fan, and it basically sucks all the air out from under the slab under your house, and then blows it out into the air so that the radon gas doesn't build up in the basement.
Is that better for it to be in the atmosphere instead of under the ground? That doesn't
Well, I mean,
sound better. I don't know anything about it, but it doesn't sound better, Matt.
No, these are questions I probably should have asked. But
yeah,
I mean, it came with the house, so I can't be legally responsible for.
Yeah, but your house is built on an old Indian burial ground.
That's
so
true.
If anything's going to go wrong, it's probably going to be related to that.
I don't have to worry about it because all of the evil spirits get sucked up in the fan and blasted out in the atmosphere, mate.
They moved the headstones, Danny. They moved the headstones. It's
someone
all
else's
fine.
problem. But that fan, when we first moved in, right, this room, you could hear it, and I was like, that's kind of annoying, but I'll just deal with it. And then slowly over the last 2 years, I've been living here now. Slowly over the last 2 years, it's definitely gotten louder and louder and louder to the point where we had to put effects on, like special tools on to remove it from my recording of the podcast. Because it was just this fucking whine in the background.
It was just this like siren, like almost like it wanted you to like vacate the premises. Your house went into like this red light situation.
There was just like this constant in this room. And
Christ.
And then so finally I called the company that installed it and they came out and they said, the guy goes, "Oh yeah, no, it's not supposed to do that," and he replaced it, and now it's fucking dead silent. And
Which is probably
I
how it was
really
meant
wish,
to be.
I really wish I'd done it the day I moved in. To be honest,
Yeah. Instead of just fucking trying to EQ it out of your life.
yeah, exactly. Like,
So was it actually working in that time?
it was, but
It was?
Yeah, he said that. I mean, it was 10 odd years old, and he said that that's about how long they live, and he said it could have died at any point. So
So I've just Googled it. I just wanted
Yeah.
to know what the fuck it was. Radon is a chemical element. Okay, fine.
Yep.
Atomic number 86, sure. It is a radioactive, colorless, odorless, tasteless gas. This sounds fucking terrifying, man.
no, that's why everybody has these systems, because
Keep it buried under the ground, Matt.
No.
Don't suck it up
No,
into
but-
your house.
it's going to leach up anyway. That's the point. Is that so they put these fans in to get it out of there. Otherwise, it's going to build up in the basement. And then we're gonna be
But
down
where's
there.
where's the fan send it though?
In Luke's bedroom, I mean, up into the
Yes.
up out. I don't know, mate, into the atmosphere
That sounds worse,
where
though.
it's harmless.
It's contained.
No, it's good, mate. It's all good. My neighbor loves
So-
it.
Someone else's problem.
Just kidding. My neighbors aren't close
So
enough to give a
radon is a
shit,
noble
and that's
gas.
how I like it.
Apparently.
No, yeah, so I've heard.
Which doesn't mean that
Chest
it
out.
always does the right thing, or it doesn't mean it's from a good family. But I'm just reading here. I just had to click through to find out what the fucking noble gas actually was. Any of the gaseous elements, etc., long believed to be unreactive, except for xenon, radon, and, wait for it, krypton.
Hey,
So that's real, apparently.
yep. Release the Snyder Cut, you fucking cowards.
Well, Zach has doubled down. He has come out this week and he has said there fucking is a Snyder Cut.
He put a
he
photo
can't-
of it up.
He can't take it back. If
Although
he's
he could have
fucking
just
trolling,
written-
or if he's
He could have just written Snyder Cut on the side of a box.
On anything.
And when there it is, it's in that box, which is
well, I mean, yeah, but like, what's he going to do now? Say, no, there isn't one. I never
maybe
made a
he's-
movie. I
He's
never did
counting
a
on
cut
the
of
fact
it.
that Warner Brothers is never going to release it, so he's like, I can say whatever I
Well,
want.
maybe
They
he
have-
wants it released because there's probably going to be a bit of a paycheck if that version actually gets released.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like according to the what he actually posted is I guess they're like film reel boxes, or what do you call those? Is there a technical term for those, Dan?
No, film reel boxes,
All right, there you go. A bunch of those with
canisters, real film canisters.
JL Snyder cut or director's cut.
But
written
why
on the
would you
side
have
of it.
director's cut written on the fucking first cut of your film?
Because he's pretentious.
I put it to you that you wouldn't write that.
I put it to you,
But-
Joss Whedon directed that movie, so
But Snyder has written on top of this photo as he posted it to his Instagram, is it real? Does it exist? Of course it does. So,
Is it any
course.
good? No.
yeah. Are there any effects in it? Nah.
No.
well, it's 3.5 hours long apparently.
Okay.
For reference, the actual film that came out in cinemas is under 2 hours. So
yeah. I mean, the shitness of it wasn't that it was too short. It was mercifully short.
I walked out of the theater wanting more.
Yeah, that's right.
Like twice as much, to be honest, is what I wanted.
Yeah.
But so it's 3.5 hours long, and somebody on Twitter said, "Oh, it must be a work print because normally films are much longer when they're when they're a work print." And Zack Snyder responded and said, "The work print was 6 hours long."
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't know how much you could get out of that story to fill
how-
6 hours.
6 hours of Justice League. Release
Maybe
that.
what he's.
I think it's just because they just kept filming when people were having like coffee and stuff.
yeah, it's just Ben Affleck
just-
having a cigarette outside, like
Yeah.
we've seen in those photos.
Maybe it's 6 hours of an assembly where he actually hasn't
Yeah.
chosen the take. So it's every take from every angle of every line back to
Right.
back is 6 hours.
Yes.
But that's
Could
not a
be.
work print.
Well, you know what? I don't have a reference I'm looking at. That may have been the word he used. So
Look, I quite like Zack Snyder's movies for the most part. There's a couple I think are a bit shit.
Yeah.
But I really there's a couple that I like legitimately really, really like. So, you know, I mean, if people that have seen his fucking work at it or whatever of this are saying, no, it's up there with the best of Snyder, then yeah, I'll take a look.
But the only people who've seen this are in it, right? So, I mean, it's not an unbiased opinion.
No, but they have seen fucking Joss Whedon's cut, and they were like,
yeah, fair.
It's better than that.
Because I get
that one.
You know, I watch stuff that we've made, and I'm like, oh, this is great, but I'm not going to show it to anyone.
Yeah,
I will show everyone everything I've been in.
Well, Luke, I mean, you say that, but I got a film sitting right here. It's in black and white. You star in it, and I'll put that online if you want. I'll put it online in a heartbeat.
Do it. I'm not scared.
Yeah, you're scared. You're scared.
No, do it.
You're
scared.
Release the Alderson cut.
I am a bit scared. Yeah, Alderson has been cut out of the film.
Yeah.
Actually, we did shoot for that film. No one knows what we're talking about, but we're talking about a controversial film we made in the fucking late 90s. But
controversial amongst us.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not implying that this caused any controversy in the wider community.
The Australian censors wouldn't allow us to release it.
I mean, they wouldn't have. They definitely wouldn't have.
Luke wouldn't.
But they had no idea we'd done it. Yeah. But right. we filmed an original ending that got taped over. Right. It got taped over, and as well as that,
because
we
it was too extreme.
It was too extreme. It was literally a former host of this podcast getting fucked by 8 guys concurrently and consecutively.
That happened a lot in stuff we filmed.
It did. But we also filmed a fake behind the scenes where we talked about the making of the movie, and there was a scene where Luke had a knife to his throat. I can't remember who was holding the knife, and Luke is looking dead into camera and completely deadpan says, I agreed to be in this film of my own free will. I wish we still had all that stuff.
I think the making of was the best part of that.
Oh, probably.
I wish we never lost that.
Lost.
The fake making of.
Taped over.
Yeah, forced to tape over by the authorities.
Yeah. Fucking censored.
Erase that from existence.
We are sort of lucky YouTube was not around when we were in the late 90s.
Or unlucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could have gone either way.
I mean, YouTube might have been around, but there was no internet to put it on. So
That's because I think back then the response to this would have been different. Like
yes.
And then you'd have to set it to private now. But it might have been all right back then.
Set it to private. I love that. That's all that it would say. It's like, yep, okay, that's quite controversial content there. You might want to set that to private.
Well, I've recently had to do that with one of our videos that was on YouTube, Kenny.
Yes.
Just in case.
Only a couple of years ago, funny. This year,
now, not funny.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
Actually, even a couple of years ago, I think we were right on the line then.
Who knew?
Well,
who knew?
It's been set to private, and I'm not going to say which one it was. Listeners, if you're familiar with our work, you can probably spot it. So,
was it just the one, or was there two?
There've been a few that we've removed a while back. Not for that reason, I think. I think we just cleaned it up, and I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? To be honest, I'm not sure what is and isn't on the channel right now.
Just delete our footprint, man. Just delete it.
Well, the episodes of the podcast are on YouTube now, so
hopefully not the first 50.
If you want it,
so
no, first 80 missing.
Okay, settle down. The 80 that Dave was on. All right.
No, he's on the first bunch that are up.
Is he?
He didn't just magically disappear at number 80. He was on episode 100.
He slowly phased himself out, quote unquote.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Like just caring less and less until he didn't care at all. So I'm not gonna say what the old film that we've been talking about was about. But if I could just segue into something here, Elon Musk calling that guy a pedophile.
Yeah.
A judge and jury have gone, yeah, he probably is. So
no,
you're right to call him that.
They didn't.
But I have no idea how Elon Musk won.
I tell you how he won. I tell you how he won. Look at this fucking quote from the jewelry. Quote, "I don't want anything to do with this." Unquote.
Yeah. It's because and I mean, this is just defamation law, right? He had to prove most of his defense centered around. We joked about how his defense was, I thought he was a pedophile. That's not. It wasn't his actual defense. His defense was no one would reasonably think I was actually accusing him of anything. He said that he didn't know who he was. He saw the guy on CNN. The guy said that Elon Musk can shove his submarine where the sun doesn't shine. So Elon Musk was going to insult him on Twitter, Googled his name to look up who he was, saw that he lives in a region of Thailand that's known for child sex trafficking, and was like, oh, there you go. I'll call him pedo guy. And then tweeted it, and that was it. And then thought that would be the end of it. And he's like, I wasn't accusing him of anything. It was just an insult. Yes, I was insulting him because he insulted me.
Yeah.
The part I find strange that I understand that part, but when he went to hide the private investigator and was going to expose, that's where you're getting into.
Yeah, that was because, well, now this guy started something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that happened later. You know what I mean? After the guy threatened to sue him, he was like, well,
it's true, though, because, I mean, like Elon's defense was, I didn't think he literally meant he wanted to sodomize me with a submarine. And I assumed he didn't think that I meant he was literally sodomizing little boys. Well,
and one of the jurors actually said part of the reason they ruled in Elon's favor is that if the guy hadn't made a fuss about it, they don't think anyone would have even known who the fuck he was talking about.
But I love how kind of passive-aggressive this article is. Musk and Unsworth have been trading insults last July when Unsworth mocked a miniature submarine. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, you've come with a little submarine.
And look, Elon needs to keep his mouth shut on Twitter a little bit, I think.
I think he got lucky here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this was clean cut or anything. And yeah, you're right. He did get lucky. He does tend to shoot his mouth off a little too quickly.
And hopefully he doesn't go, well, if this worked out well for me, I can say whatever I want now.
Start calling everybody pedo guy.
Come at me, Elon. Fucking come at me.
Well, that was one of his other, because he testified and he said that at one point they were talking about, whether the tweet was an accusation or whatever. And he was like, I didn't add guy to the end to make it like a more serious thing. Like, you don't call somebody pedo guy when you're actually accusing them of something.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a jokey insult.
Yeah. George Pell's a pedo guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's what he's convicted of being a pedo guy. So, case closed.
Case closed.
I didn't think this was going to go in his favor. So, that's interesting.
Yeah. No, I didn't either, actually. Because, I mean, it is one thing to say, you can shove your fucking miniature submarine up your ass. And there is another thing to say, well, if he's not a pedophile, why isn't he suing me? Which was
that's the other part. Like, the fact that he sort of doubled down. Well, he's not suing me, so there's smoke, there's fire type of thing.
That's what I thought. It was the second tweet that he was gonna get tripped up on.
I think as well the guy, what's his name, Unsworth. I mean, look, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I think he may have gone too far in talking about how upset and how much it ruined his life being called like a fucking pedo guy by Elon Musk on Twitter. Like,
I also think if you had asked for a smaller amount,
what did he ask for?
$190 million.
Fuck off. I mean, if you're suing Elon Musk, you might as well go for it, but still.
And he was talking about how like he was, like they rescued these kids and he was winning all these awards and like the fucking royal family gave him I don't know, some night ship or something, and he was like, I was all ruined because Elon Musk called me a pedo guy. And then I think the jury
but if people thought you were, they wouldn't be knighting you and all that shit.
Yeah, I think the jury were rolling their eyes a bit when he was talking about all that. So,
but I think if he had asked for like 19 million, Elon Musk would have gone, here's a check, just go away.
Yeah, maybe. Well, and Elon got into a fight with the lawyer, like Unsworth's lawyer. Apparently, the judge had to bang his little gavel and say, quit it, because Elon Musk accused the lawyer of just looking for a payday in court. and then because he said, "Oh, wasn't the submarine a publicity stunt?" And Elon was like, "Well, isn't this a publicity stunt?" And the lawyer was like, "What?" It's pretty good.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the guy Unsworth could have just said, "Listen, Elon, thanks for bringing the submarine. It's actually too big to fit down this little tube. A person can barely fit. So I'm going to go in first. I'll have a go." Instead of fucking Elon comes over here with his fucking submarine, fucking sunshine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He did start.
That's the thing. He said on CNN that Elon Musk can shove the submarine, and that Elon Musk had been laughed out of the cave. And then I think that didn't.
Wait, hold on. Elon wasn't in the submarine in the cave.
No, that's what I mean, though. And then they had a bunch of people testify to say that actually that's not true. Elon Musk was there,
That is not what happened.
they were being very helpful, and so that didn't go in his favor.
And
either,
at that point, the kids hadn't been rescued, so they were considering any option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, so they've just made a film out of this. Basically, the day after this happened, everyone in Asia who was in the film industry was like, "Can we get the rights?" And everyone was approaching, including my boss, right? Who do we know? Who do we know that knows someone that knows someone? Parents of the kids, the divers, anyone. Everyone was trying to get life rights. Well, we want to make the movie. Anyway, someone did. Most of my friends in Thailand who are in the film industry worked on this in one way or other. It had its premiere this week. It's called The Cave. And the mayor of whatever town this was in walked out after 2 minutes. 2 minutes into the film, walked out.
Oh, God.
And announced 2 minutes in, and this is already inaccurate, and left. So I hope I don't know who plays Elon Musk, but I hope there's a whole scene where Elon Musk's, some Thai guy dressed up as Elon Musk rocks up with a miniature submarine.
I hope. Elon Musk's been in films. Maybe he just plays himself.
He has, yeah, but he does. That's true. Yeah, he's been episodes
Iron
of
Man 2.
fucking Big Bang Theory, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
Luke,
in.
Has he?
He's
Has
in Iron
he?
Man 2. Yeah, you're the expert.
Luke.
Yes, he has shown up, I think. I don't know. I didn't pay much attention.
Sure, you didn't. Sure,
I had to look over and rewind sometimes to go, why are people laughing?
Sometimes I'm crying so much from laughter that I just don't notice what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know who the guest stars are.
It wasn't
It's
so
the
not
tears
funny.
in my
I
eyes.
just get it.
Too hilarious.
So look, that's good. I mean, Elon's come out on top again. It's good to see the little guy, the underdog, win out for change.
Yep.
But someone else said something in the media this week and has quickly taken it back. And I really found this funny. Billy D. Williams, star of some of the Star Wars movies, as Lando Calrissian. Aside from that, we know Lando Calrissian's full name now. We joked last week that he had a full name.
Yeah,
it's not Lando Lorian, unfortunately.
Damn.
But it is. Does anyone know before I Google this?
No. I know that it was discovered written on the side of a cane, right? That he has in...
Hey, spoilers.
Is that a spoiler?
I think it is.
Wasn't it the cane that he has in Solo? Or am I... Wait, his name is a spoiler?
I think it... This is what I've always found weird about spoilers. Everything is a spoiler if you have not seen the movie.
It's not part of the movie. It's just written in Aurebesh on the side of a fucking cane that someone's holding as a prop. Like, is that a spoiler?
Oh, even if it is, it's a prop in the movie that hasn't come out yet.
Luke thinks isn't a spoiler. Luke thinks literally the plot of a film is not a spoiler. The
trailers for a movie are a spoiler.
Oh, great. Skywalker Rises. Fuck you, spoilers.
Text scribbled on the wall of a toilet at Disneyland is a spoiler.
The spoiler.
All right, so we will not be revealing the name of Lando Calrissian on this podcast.
Oh, I want to know, though.
Oh, for Christ's sake. We're not saying it because of what you just said. Fine, spoiler alert. I'm going to say it real quick. Just tap the 15 seconds scan ahead button if you don't want to hear it. Tap now. His name is Baron Landonus Balthazar Carizian III.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he just be Lando Calrissian?
And thanks for joining us again. But that's not why Billy D. Williams is in the news this week. Billy D. Williams is in the news this week because earlier in the week, he seemingly outed himself as being gender fluid. And the LGBT community were like, fuck yeah, Billy D, he's one of us. And then he quickly came out a few days later and said, the hell is gender fluid? And completely took it back.
So what did he actually say at the time?
He said, okay, let me get this right. He was asked to describe himself by Esquire magazine. And he said, well, I think of myself as a relatively let me start that again. I think of myself as a relatively colourful character who doesn't take himself or herself too seriously.
Okay.
And you see, I say himself and herself because I also see myself as feminine as well as masculine. So I guess that's they've latched onto that.
Yeah.
So he's trying to say he's still metrosexual?
I think, well, he goes on to clarify. What I was referring to was about men getting in touch with their feminine sides. I wasn't talking about sex or being gay or straight.
And he went on to say, not gay. Not gay.
Yeah. He said, just to clarify, I identify as a man, not gay. So
he likes the ladies.
Hopefully that was clear.
Just in case you were wondering, is he an old man? He made that very clear. Not gay.
Not gay. Do you guys? I know neither of you are probably into Macklemore, right? But are you guys aware of Macklemore?
I'm familiar with the name.
I've heard the name, but I don't know if I've heard of anything.
Macklemore is an American rapper, white rapper. Very popular.
Is he one of the mumble rappers?
No. He's way better than that. Don't worry.
Okay.
No speech impediment.
Honest to God, I don't even. It's like music these days. When I listen to like fucking someone in my office will just put on the radio. It's like when we were in high school in music class, and there were kids that just had literally no interest in music that had to turn in an assignment at the end of the fucking term.
Yeah.
And so they put the least amount of effort in possible, and it's the least musical thing you can think of, and that's fucking mumble rap. But no,
I don't know.
Macklemore
I know what mumble rap is, but
just keep it that way.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to explain it to you. Yeah,
I'll figure it out, or I won't.
You will not be in any way like your life will not be changed for knowing it or not knowing
by mumble rap.
Yeah, but Macklemore was very famous for about a year, less famous now. But he had this song called "Same Love," which was his like anthem for like supporting like LGBT, right?
Okay, yeah.
But every time he mentioned it, it's okay to be gay. I'm not. Let that be clear. But it is okay. Like constantly throughout the song.
To me, doesn't that sort of lose its sort of that sort of heartfelt part about it? Like, it's okay. I'm not. God, don't get me wrong, I'm not. It's okay if you are.
Jesus, no. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Don't you dare call me one. Don't you dare. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I just thought of this just because we grew up in an area where that was being gay was
I can't
used
wait
as an
to
insult.
hear what Matt says next.
No. So we grew up, unfortunately, in a place and a time where being called gay was an insult.
Yeah.
And
not just an insult, it was literally the worst thing you could possibly be.
Yes, and that's unfortunate
according to
and wrong.
The culture of the time.
But the other night, I was cooking last night. I made dumplings. And in the recipe, I was reading the recipe, and I had to make it. It referred to it as a cornstarch slurry. And so I started laughing, and I said to Jenna, "I'm like, I've got to make a slurry." And she looked at me like, and she goes,
"She's like, what?
All right, okay." And I was like, "Slurry." And I realized that I don't know if anyone else in the whole fucking world used slurry as an insult.
No, I'm pretty sure that is Western Sydney.
Slurry.
And then she's like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I'm like, "Well, it's like a slut, but worse."
like a dirty slut.
Yeah, like a fucking slurry.
Like a slut that doesn't even know she's a slut.
So that's a weird insult that we had that,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's true. Yeah, not allowed to call people anything like that anymore.
I think I probably could call people slurries. They wouldn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, we nicknamed a guy Spoof when we were in Seattle many years ago.
Loved it. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Spoof.
We were using the word spoof, and an American, overheard us. So, for those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you, spoof was a colloquialism, again, in Western Sydney in the 90s that meant jizz. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Semen.
We were using that. More on that later. We were using that colloquialism, and this American guy who was in us in the line, we were at PAX, he was like, can I be spoof? And we were like, yep.
Sure.
You're Spoof now. That's your name.
I think we were giving people nicknames, right? And then we were joking that, his nickname could be Spoof. And then we were laughing. And then he was like, can I be Spoof?
Yeah.
Sure, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spoofmeister. That's the name of this podcast, obviously.
The Spoofmeister.
The Spoofmeister. Yeah.
I made a slurry.
Billy D. Williams, not gay.
Definitely not gay.
Was it a nice slurry?
What do people call each other now?
Like as an insult?
Well, you're not allowed to call each other gays and sluts. What do you?
I think now it's called being a white male.
Yeah, sure.
Luke's getting
boomers
political.
are getting it. I've noticed.
Oh,
Baby
yeah.
boomers. Yeah. I heard someone recently say, I don't even know how to phrase this, that if you're from the baby boomer generation and you get called a boomer, they said that's the same. They get that same feeling as when African Americans get called the N-word.
No.
And I put it to you that is not the case.
No.
Because, I mean, and if the answer's not already obvious, which it should be, but it's because when these fucking millennials, God, I'm glad I'm not either of these, by the way. I'm glad we're like Gen X slipped in the middle.
Luke's one of them.
Yeah. It depends which who's
1980 is the cutoff. Where Dan and I are on
but
the cusp.
some others say
We're safe.
81. Some say 81.
Who says? Show me some evidence.
Luke says.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason that millennials make fun of the baby boomers is because they have it so good. You know, they're kind of acknowledging, okay, you're on top of the fucking world. And we don't like that. I don't
millennials,
think
you have it a million times better.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you haven't had to go to war for starters.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten food rations. Yeah. But people weren't calling African Americans the N-word because they thought, we've got to take these guys down a peg. They are on top of the world.
No,
that's true. Yeah.
Not the same thing.
No. Don't think so anyway.
No. But I do think it's funny. So did I say this on the podcast already? I did a shoot at a high school a few weeks ago.
you might want to expand upon that because
I was shooting of a fucking. Yes, I did a job for the Department of Education Singapore, and we were filming in a high school. And the thing that kids say quite a lot now is, "Don't trigger, bro. Don't trigger. Don't trigger."
Really?
Which means like calm the fuck down and don't take it so seriously. Which I actually quite like because we had this whole thing of you know, you can't blame someone when they're fucking offended.
I'm triggered.
That's them. It's up to them to be offended. Whereas now it's like calm the fuck down. So the pendulum has swung back the other way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
it's a terrible time to be alive.
Yeah. I think it always has.
It's really
though.
not. It's not.
It's not. It's really not.
We're fine.
We are fine. We are fine.
This is the greatest time ever.
Yeah, because we're not boomers. We're not.
That's the worst thing. People get worked up. People get worked up over everything, and we do have it so good, and that's why they get worked up over everything because they can now.
Just
100 years ago, you couldn't.
No, because you were dying of starvation.
Yeah, that's right. You had no teeth.
Ahmed Best.
Oh my god.
Famous for portraying the character, the much beloved character Jar Jar Binks.
He is actually much beloved, and it still confuses me to this day.
Well, that's true because George Lucas was right, and the kids that watched The Phantom Menace as kids grew up, and apparently they think that's normal and good to like Jar Jar Binks. So Ahmed Best is now going to be hosting a Star Wars themed game show on Disney
As
Plus.
Jar Jar or as
I don't
himself?
I don't think so. I think just as himself. Just as
Man,
Ahmed
they
Best.
are throwing him a bone here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, he went through. I think we've discussed this probably a bunch of times, but
The
he went
man
through a
nearly
deep
killed
depression.
himself over it.
Deep depression because he worked really hard on that character. Apparently, really hard. He and George spent a lot of time on Jar Jar, and it did
Well, not only that,
pay off.
but George was constantly whispering in his ear, "This is the first CGI character in the history of cinema." Like,
Yes.
we're taking this to the next level together, hand in hand.
You are going to be a big star.
Because George's plan was Jar Jar was basically going to get his role was going to get bigger each of the movies.
Yeah.
I'll say this though: Jedi Temple Challenge sounds a bit shit, and I probably won't be watching this.
No,
Pretty sure we're not the target audience.
Yeah, that's a children's show, and that's fine that you won't be. That would be
It's going to be one of these shows that's going to be on in the afternoon that kids are going to watch and they're going to be upset that they're not on it.
Unless
I was when I was growing
unless you're
up.
a British cave diver, this show's not for you, Dan.
You're specifically talking about Double Dare, aren't you, Luke?
Yes, I am.
Yes,
that was a
you
good
are.
show.
That was
Physical
so good, and
challenge.
I was also incredible.
So wanted to be on
I
that.
never understood why anyone didn't say physical challenge. Either answer the question and get
Yeah.
a point, or go in this fucking obstacle course. I will take the
I just
obstacle
wanna be the
course
obstacle
every
course.
time. So
I know
good.
nothing.
I wonder if there's some episodes of that online. I do want to watch something. I do want to see that again and relive. How old do we think the kids are now who grew up on? Because obviously the kids who saw, the original Star Wars are now in their 40s and 50s.
The prequels, and they're in their 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that must be who the target audience for this show is, Jedi Temple Challenge. Because
No, this one's going to be their kids.
But then why is
Yeah,
it
probably.
Ahmed Best? Because it's like, what do kids?
Well, he's
what do
just
little
a-
kids care about Ahmed Best?
I think it is really just throwing him a bone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
I mean, he's
hey,
probably
you've got no
homeless.
work.
But maybe he's a very good host. Who knows? We'll have to
I'm sure he will be.
see.
I'm not saying he's not going to be a good host.
Yeah, but this is probably going to be for the people who grew up watching the Clone Wars.
Mm.
Oh, no, they're old now.
Yeah, Clone Wars
Resistance.
is at least 10 years old now, right?
Oh, I think it's even older. Like, a lot older.
Well, Phantom Menace came out in 1999.
Jesus Christ.
So,
20
yeah,
years
I know,
ago.
right? Mm.
The Clone
we
Wars
were-
cartoon
We were 19
started...
and 18, respectively.
Um,
So it's, I guess, 10 years younger than that. That would have been, or even, I guess even younger than that, 14, 15 years younger than us. They'd be the kids.
Yep.
Oh, well,
So, yeah, in the
enjoy
20s.
Ahmed Best, kids.
Yeah.
We didn't, but maybe you will.
Well,
We
that's
passed-
the
we
thing.
passed the baton.
They did.
They love
Like,
their
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I watched it with Brandon once, and he laughed every time Jar Jar did
Every time he
anything.
steps in the poopy.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen, there's a video online, this kind of creative agency in America made this clip. It's just about 5 minutes long, but of just if Star Wars was R-rated. And basically, they just, no, not sexual, Luke. Okay, calm down.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. No, but they basically are just like people are getting shot left, right, and center, and there's no actual violence in it. Like there's no blood,
Yeah.
there's no wounds. So they basically put the blood and gore in, and
Right.
of course there's one where he gets caught up in that energy beam while he's fixing that car and just
Oh, yeah.
explodes. But the bits that are the worst, and by the worst I mean the best, are the Order 66 scenes where they're just fucking troopers standing around one Jedi just shooting.
Yep.
Right?
In the back.
Yeah,
and-
once you put a fucking squib, like a fucking gunshot wound for every laser beam that hits that person,
Yeah.
it's fucking brutal.
Oh, okay. Here are some Jar Jar Binks quotes I've just found.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no, he's
Alright,
been caught
sure.
saying some offensive stuff on Twitter.
I just think it'll show you that how his character could have been a bit offensive back then. Misa called Jar Jar Binks, Misa, your humble servant.
Oh, this is that nonsense where they think he's like a kind of
Say it,
minstrel kind of character.
Well, but I mean,
How rude.
he's played by. I mean,
I think you got to believe the actor when he says, "Absolutely not. That is not what we were going for." And I would never do that because I mean he's a black actor. He's been pretty adamant that when people say that that like, oh, he's a racial stereotype, and he's like, no, absolutely, he's not.
I think where it comes from is because there were so many racial stereotypes in that movie.
Well, that's the question. Were there? This is because this conversation has been had on a lot as well. Were there?
well, I mean,
you're thinking of the Nemoidians, yeah, but
Yes.
see
the Mordians, Watto.
okay, but the Nemoidians, right? If you actually, I mean, I get it's the end result that matters, but the Nemoidians is a Transylvanian actor who they then had, I think, some Thai voice actors read his lines attempting to do his accent because they wanted it to sound weird and alien, and it came out sounding
certainly did.
like a
Sounding
Fu
fake
Manchu.
Japanese.
Yeah, exactly, like a caricature. And then it's not what they were going for, I guess. Is the
No,
point.
and I think the other argument not in favor of, but the thing that maybe makes this not as bad as it was is that like a minstrel show is a white actor painted up in blackface portraying a black. Archimede Best is black, so even if he is doing like a humble servant type of voice, fucking surely that's within his rights.
I wasn't even going down this way. I'm just going about how terrible. Big goober fish.
Oh, you're just talking about how
Icky
shitty it
goo.
is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You guys know that Archimede Best also wrote, directed, and produced a TV show based on his own life called This Can't Be My Life.
Oh,
Jesus.
that's when he was going through a hard time, wasn't it?
I would imagine.
Oh, Joey, it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that was him at his best.
his Ahmed Best.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, we should all go out and watch his little quiz show.
Jesus.
Mate, if it'll keep him alive, it'll keep the gun out of his mouth, then I'll watch
Luke
it.
has no sympathy for this
If
guy.
that's what it's come down to.
No, I'm actually being heartfelt. We should watch it, see if it's going to keep him around.
sad little Ahmed, I'll watch your TV show.
I have not told any Star Wars actor they should kill themselves over it.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa,
no
whoa,
one said you
whoa.
didn't, Luke. Fucking hell.
No, well, no, I'm not saying it, but there are a lot of fans who have told him to go
I've
kill
threatened
himself.
actors from other franchises, but not Star Wars.
Like I've told Marvel actors to put a fucking gun in their mouth. Sure. Okay. Weird. Sure. If I can segue just slightly for a moment, last week on the show, you guys were one episode ahead of me on The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
You'd seen 4 and I'd only seen 3. I'm assuming now we've all seen 5.
I've seen
Yes,
5.
I just watched 5 about an hour ago.
So Luke, I really liked 5. I thought 5 was good, and I thought it was good to be back to that kind of episode structure because I thought in many ways episode 4 was a bit shit.
Really?
Yes. And
I liked 4.
I have the opposite opinion.
last week when
I thought this one was a bit...
See, when you were saying
weak.
last week that the storyline was garbage, and I was like, no, it's not. Come on. And then I saw 4. I thought, oh, okay, you must be talking about this.
No, I'm still just talking about the whole thing makes no sense and is stupid, but I love it.
Can I bring... Okay, so the reason I didn't like Episode 4 is the one, Pocahontas, right? It's where he lands on a fucking remote, fucking picturesque planet, falls in love with Pocahontas, and then has to fend off some other creatures, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yep.
Bit on the nose to me, to be honest. I thought... Like the fact that they were this peaceful village and all perfect. I mean, even in Dances with Wolves, which is basically what they ripped off for it. Like, they were still cunts and they still fought amongst themselves. It's just a little too on the nose. It was just too on the nose. It was too on the nose.
Also, what I think...
You can startle an AT-AT, apparently. Sorry, an ATST. But you can startle one, and it can fucking... It's an animal now, apparently. There's no one driving it. It's just... It is sentient, apparently. You can distract it. It can go to take a step, and then it can like shrink back. Like, what is this? What are we watching?
I honestly think the reason for that episode was actually to try and show time passing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To actually try and spread, so because at the moment it's sort of been sort of fast paced, but there's no real concept of how long it's been. Whereas this one, it sort of makes out that he's been living there for a while and settled for a little bit. So I think it's just trying to show time passing in the universe. Maybe.
See, I don't want to. I get those complaints. That's fine. I quite enjoyed episode 4 actually. But I found, because we can't talk spoilers about episode 5 really yet. It's not the right time.
No, but I thought 4 was better than 5.
I thought 5 was quite shit, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought 5 was quite strange.
I at least thought, look, it's certainly not the best episode, but episode 4 was just so fluffy, and
okay,
I don't know. It's just the tone was all off for me. It was just a completely different tone. And now people are episode 5. People are shooting each other in the back again, and I'm like, okay, this is what I signed up for.
Yeah, but I think it's also they're just trying to also show a bit more of his character a little bit.
Okay,
try and build that up a bit more.
So let's stay on that for a sec, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So he gets to this little village, and there's this beautiful woman there who takes a shine to him immediately. She's never seen his face, because they have a discussion about he doesn't take his helmet off. I mean, he takes it off standing in a window to eat a sandwich. While kids...
So that finally explained how he eats, which we questioned.
Takes it off.
Yeah.
Fine.
So if someone wandered in, they would see him with it off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, if one of those kids just looked up from their fucking game of soccer or whatever they were playing.
I thought that as well. Yeah.
Like, he was 5 meters away. You just look up the window.
A lot about that episode just grated me the wrong way. But here's the thing. She thought Baby Yoda was his son. She said it on a number of occasions that she thought that was his son, and he never corrected her. So my question is, does she think he's a weird green Yoda thing under that helmet?
Maybe.
Love is love,
There is literally no
love.
indication that she would have to be stupid to assume he wasn't that.
Does she say, like...
She calls him your son, your boy, your baby. Like, at no point does she say...
it is his baby, I guess. Like...
So you see a man with a baby, right? And you're just like, 50-50
I hope that's
on whether
his.
that... I'm just gonna assume it's not, and then that's okay.
Yes, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, but maybe she didn't want to offend him. You should be like, where'd you get that?
You a weird
where'd you get
green
that
thing?
from? Yeah, no, where'd you get that
But
from?
that's what I mean. If she is... the logical conclusion that she would come to was that it's his baby.
Sure.
But remember, this is the one thing you have to do. You have to give up logic watching this. Because if you try and read into
Honestly,
everything,
episodes
you take
1,
away
2,
from how
and
good it
3,
is.
I was perfectly willing to go with the kind of slightly weird stuff. But episode 4, there was just too much wrong with it. I
think far, every episode is like, if someone was playing a weekly Star Wars role-playing game, that's what these feel like to me. Like, I'm not complaining about it, because that's fine. But they are very like, every single one, and like, I'm not going to talk spoilers. Particularly, I found 5 to be on the nose in this regard. Everyone has to have a little like, remember these? Like ATST, for example, in episode 4, and then just all of them have like stuff like that, and then 5 just fucking piled it on. But
I was about to say 5 had as much as episode 1, which had too many.
Yeah,
I think they went a bit over the top again.
Like, pointless stuff shoehorned in for like, remember this?
Yeah, which we don't need. I understand maybe in the first couple of episodes, but now you can let it stand on its own. I mean, but I'm upset we've only got 3 more episodes.
I know, it's quite short.
Oh shit, is that all? Well, okay,
there's only 8 episodes this season.
They're only half an hour long, which is also
bite-sized.
Well, no, it's sort of weird because like episode 4 is about 40 minutes.
Oh, was it?
So yeah, each episode is just as long as it needs to be, type of thing. They're not sticking to the.
That's what I say all the time.
30 minutes
Babe,
has to be
it's
40
as long as it needs to be.
Any longer's a waste.
So, Ryan Johnson wants to direct one.
No.
And I don't know why this guy has the fucking stones after everything that's happened.
He's trolling. Surely. I feel like
if I was him, I wouldn't
it's-
even fucking mention Star Wars ever again.
Well, he went to the set of episode of the first season.
Yeah, look,
Of
people-
like he's still very much a part of, but no one knows how.
Well, I think he honestly has this thing where he doesn't, and I've seen this on Twitter and everywhere all the time. Like, people don't get that. Like, there are people who just don't like The Last Jedi, not because we hate women. Like, there's this, like, it's like, I don't know, people who like it, or I don't even know if it's the right, like the
I've
movie is the
never
right
heard
word.
anyone say they like it.
I'm still
Right.
50-50 on it. There's parts I love and there's parts I hate.
Me too.
But then there was an
watched-
article the other day that was about how Luke Skywalker was a flawed character in The Last Jedi, and that's why all the fucking people who don't like it don't like it. Like, no, stop. It's
Mate,
fucking-
it just wasn't a very good movie. The script was terrible. It was badly directed.
why? I don't know. It's like a weird, I guess because it's Star Wars. It's like this weird thing
Yeah.
where people have to find some strange reason why we didn't like it. No, we just didn't like it.
Yeah, it just wasn't any good, and we didn't
It
like
just wasn't
it.
a very good movie.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think, like, is it Rian Johnson, because he's still talking about his trilogy. He's now
Yeah.
trying to say he wants to direct.
But he seems
Is
to
it
be in
Disney
that
just
camp.
can't be. But maybe Disney they're just too nice to say, look, sorry, you're not getting this.
No, but I think
'Cause
maybe-
they're not discussing it anymore, are they?
But that's what I'm
weren't
saying
nice
is
to-
these people, like these people, I'm getting weird about it too now. No, I don't want to be like a generalizing like everyone else seems to be, but I think they don't understand that people have legitimate criticisms of Rian Johnson, like, and I don't think he does either anymore. I think he's bought into the fact that it's just a bunch of racists. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
Disney's
I
maybe
agree
thinking
with
the
you.
same thing.
I think that, I think he is still angry that we don't like his film because he thinks
Yes.
we don't like it for bullshit reasons, where we actually just don't like it because it wasn't very good.
And some people like do have weird reasons for not liking it, and fuck those people. But
Yeah.
also, like, I don't know. I feel like it got
One of the
weird.
things
It's
I
like
do-
the new Ghostbusters, the 2016 Ghostbusters. It's like you can't criticize that film anymore because they made it about weird shit. I feel like Last Jedi is the same thing. You basically just can't talk about that film anymore without
Yeah, that's right.
weird.
One of the things like last year, the things that confuse me is space travel's now so confusing. That slow space chase where the Imperials can't catch up to them, but then Rose and that can go off to another planet and come back. But hyperspace made no sense.
What, Rose? What are you pointing about Rose for, huh? Why do you hate Asians, Luke?
Well, no, it's when Rose and Finn go off to that casino planet. How can they travel to another planet and come back? But then the resistance, but the ships can't catch up. It made no sense.
Can I say something that annoys me? And if you guys disagree, then I'll eat my hat. Right?
Are you wearing a hat?
Which hat?
Yeah, you wearing one?
No, I'm not currently wearing a hat, but I got many hats. I got all
Luke's
the
not
hats.
wearing anything.
So they go to that fucking casino to meet someone, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should have been Lando Calrissian.
Well, okay. Well, yeah,
they didn't
sure.
even,
It wasn't,
Didn't
though.
even meet the guy they were supposed to meet.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. So you're on my camp on that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They were supposed to meet, what's his name? The guy with the rose. Was it Louis Theroux?
Yes. Not Louis Theroux, the other one.
Justin Trudeau?
No, not him.
Justin Theroux.
It's Justin Trudeau in blackface.
Yes.
So
Some guy whose name rhymes with one of the names I just said.
Well, they're cousins. No, you know they're cousins, right?
I did not know that.
They are cousins.
Okay.
No,
Wait. That doesn't mean they
hold
have
on.
the same name. Or rhyming names.
No,
You've
but
got to
they
have a
are
name that rhymes with your cousin's name.
Justin Theroux and Justin Trudeau are not cousins because their names rhyme. Fucking Louis Theroux and Justin Theroux are related.
Okay.
The actor, Justin Theroux, is the cousin of the documentary filmmaker Louis Theroux.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about, though. What I'm talking
No,
about
I know. I'm
is they
sorry,
go there
I'm sorry.
to meet Justin Theroux,
Yes.
and they don't, and they meet
Yep.
Benicio del Toro instead.
Yeah, in prison,
yeah.
and they go, he'll do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just our
so
friends who are going to die. That guy will do. This drunk weirdo.
Yeah, we won't look around for 10 more seconds. No. But I've had arguments, and I don't know why. I shouldn't care. I shouldn't care. I've had arguments with people who say, it's lucky that they got locked up because that's how they met the guy that they were there to meet. I can't even remember his name. Fucking the Codebreaker or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, no.
That's not him.
They didn't meet him. He was out there. He was out there still at the end when they get fucking escorted out.
DJ.
The camera pans past a guy with a fucking
This is what happens, though, when people only see the movie once.
Also, when it's garbage storytelling.
And it's garbage. And that's the thing, because if it was good, people would have gone back and watched it a few more and they'd probably get a better understanding. But seeing it once, you can sort of understand why people... Because the story made no sense.
Fair.
Like, still, with that, like, when they were explaining, you got to go to this casino planet, it's still leading up, yep, it's going to be Lando, which would have made more sense than that whole story.
He was too busy being gender fluid.
Leaking all over his ship.
Oh, so much fluid. But here's the thing, and Luke's right. He almost touched on some really good points. That there are a lot of people who aren't the rebellion or the empire, that they're just fucking war profiteers, just trying to stay out of it and make a buck. Like, that's great. The same weapons manufacturers arm both sides. I mean, that shit is really real. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Probably could have explored that in a more interesting way than
that's right.
throwing it in there.
Forget it.
Also,
I just missed the mark.
Don't sacrifice yourself. That's not worth it. Oh, she sacrificed herself. Yay, she's a hero. But don't you do it, Finn. Don't you do it.
Yeah.
Look, let him direct an episode of The Mandalorian. I actually don't really even care. Like,
do you see the one episode he directed of Breaking Bad? A show that was actually quite good, and he directed a garbage episode right in the middle?
Nah.
He directed an episode of Breaking Bad, a show about two people that fucking cook meth, where the entire episode was set in the meth lab and they were being annoyed by a fly buzzing around. Seriously,
but
Ryan Johnson.
With that episode, that wouldn't have... But that... If that was the whole episode, that wouldn't have been sort of his entire thing that he brought in. He was just brought in as direct. He wouldn't have written that or anything like that.
Oh, he tends to write and direct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but normally, from what I hear, like, when a lot of people come in to do, like, one episode of a television show, most of the time, like, people already know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, you kind of
don't get much creative control.
Yeah, you're kind of constrained, like, I think, anyway. Well, you should be. Yeah, you should be fitting in with the rest of the fucking show, ideally.
Luke, you're right. It's absolutely correct. He just directed it. Written by someone else. Episode's called The Fly. Yeah. And
I find it a bit hard that he'd get there and go, all right, well, we're going to have a fly, and that's going to be the whole thing of the episode. Everyone's just going, yep, we're on with that.
On the day.
Yeah.
That's a Luke thinks TV gets made.
Wikipedia itself says arguably the most polarizing episode of Breaking Bad. There you go. Polarizing is a really nice way to say a lot of people hated it.
I think that's how they describe The Last Jedi.
Yeah, polarizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Nazis were
talking
polarizing.
about that again. Luke, you're going to have to wait a bit longer to stay in space.
I know. I'm so upset by this.
So the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel at Disney World, it's not going to be at Disneyland, it's only going to be at Disney World. Well, for now anyway.
Mind you, that is the one that's closest to your house, Matt. So
that's true, but it's not closest to you guys, is it? I don't think.
None of it's close
but to us. I'm prepared to travel anywhere for this.
Well, you have to travel to space in 2021. It opens 2021.
2021.
And apparently...
I thought it was opening next year.
Is this thing going to be underground? Is that how this works? Because the premise as described is that you kind of enter what the lobby is like a spaceport, and then to get to your room, you got to go on a fake space shuttle ride to the spaceship, and it seems like it doesn't have any real windows. All the windows are going to be screens.
Yep.
Oh,
so it's like you're traveling through space.
So you open the window and it's like space. So is it underground? I guess.
I think it might be.
It might as well be, I suppose.
Yeah.
Can I just say, though, I mean, staying in a Star Wars themed hotel, I mean, whilst that might sound cool and everything you've just described sounds pretty fucking awesome, but at the same time, I've never looked at any of the dwellings of any kind in Star Wars and thought to myself, that looks comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at the fucking schematics of this and I'm like, yeah, it looks like Star Wars, but why would I want to sleep there?
I know. Actually, it's probably going to be quite cheap to furnish.
It also looks incredibly cramped, like spaceships are.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to make sure they can fit as many people in there.
Yeah.
They need all the money. I will give it to them.
They need all the money. It's true, they do need it.
I do need it, yeah.
So I guess 2021 we're going there, and this is the one where it's all immersive. Apparently, there's going to be like an area where you can go and train with a lightsaber and stuff. And,
yeah, you have to stay. It's like the whole thing is like you have to stay a minimum of 2 nights so you can actually experience it. Everything.
You'll have to buy the lightsaber first, and only people that buy the lightsaber and only people that buy the deluxe edition get to go to the fucking
It's okay.
training center.
I am buying it all.
Fucking stormtroopers will burst in at 2 a.m. and search your room.
Yeah.
Strip searcher.
Well, I want it that immersive.
I want a stormtrooper immersed inside of me.
I think getting fucked by a stormtrooper is a good segue into teasing for our special edition episode that'll be coming up in a little while.
Yeah. You guys demanded it, and so we did it. We did a Star Wars.
We did.
Episode.
We did.
I looked on Fiverr.
I think every episode is a Star Wars episode, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I tried to find someone to animate our Star Wars role-playing game.
How many hundreds of dollars would it be?
Mate, it's about $1,000 for a 5-minute animation on Fiverr.
Oh, God.
So we cannot afford it. We cannot afford it.
Damn.
If any listeners are out there or a aspiring animator, please get in touch. I think it'd be hilarious.
I'll give you $50.
Aspiring is code for free.
Yeah, we'll work for nothing.
I'm prepared to pay $50.
I thought Luke was going to say, I'll do some animation.
You'll get half a drawn stick figure.
Fine.
Half. He's not even going to commit to a full stick figure.
No.
Jesus.
I've drawn half of you.
Isn't half a stick figure just a stick?
Pretty much. Yeah. So you're going to have to really use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see